Hey everybody! Well, today I thought we could take a look at another one of these cool Book Nook kits. So after doing that other Book Nook kit that I did a video on, I really enjoyed that build. It was a lot of fun. Now this one here is much more simple. I'll show you everything that this comes with when I take it all out, and I'll show you what the actual thing looks like as well on the instructions. Alright, so here we can see all these parts that this comes with. Starting with this, we got these nice brick wall pieces. And over here we have some signage going on. Very nice. Another wall or walls. Some windows there. That looks really good. These kits are always really well done. I love these skulls that are in the window right there. That looks really neat. I think this is supposed to be kind of a Diagon Alley, Harry Potter-ish kind of thing. Here we have another solid piece. That's probably the floor of it, maybe. I'm not really sure. Here's some more parts. Some really small stuff going on there. I think that's part of the windows. There's some curved windows in here that look like they're going to be a little fiddly to build, but we'll see. That looks really good. Look at that. It's like a cobblestone street area. That looks really, really good. Here's some more. Now this one is not as big as the previous one that I did. It doesn't have the mirror effect, where you have the mirror to make it look like it goes deeper. And then here we have the lights. It's a nice little string of lights right here, and then the battery box as well. And then we also have, I'm not sure what these are. There's some kind of a, get them in the lights. See how they're square pieces? Not sure what those are. And then they of course give you an emery board so you can sand down these pieces. We also have a sheet of, I guess these are just newspapers that are laying around on the ground, and some signs for the stores. And these are not stickers, so you're going to just glue these on. And then we also have this sheet of frosted, it's like a thin, I guess it's plastic or something, or maybe it's paper, and that's to frost the windows, and the lights are behind it. And then here's the instructions. So this is what it's going to look like. You can see it's just a small alleyway. It doesn't go really deep in, but I really like it. And I think in the dark this is going to look really cool with those lights sticking out of the windows. So I'm hoping that this is not going to be like a real... See, the windows look a little finicky, but the rest of it looks okay. But these are really fun. I mean, once you get going on these, it actually works out really good. I'm assuming you can just use Gorilla Glue or Elmer's glue. I end up usually using both on these kits. But anyway, alright, well I guess I'll get started on this, and hopefully I can just show you what it looks like when it's done, or if there's anything interesting along the way, I'll pop in and show you that. Okay, so right at the get-go, I had a problem. So, the first thing they tell you to do is to test out the lights to make sure they work. So I'm opening the battery pack, and lo and behold, they forgot to put in the contacts on this side of the battery pack. There's supposed to be another spring and the little flat piece. So somebody screwed up and didn't finish this. So I got a defective battery box, very irritating. So I Amazon to the rescue. I ordered another one of these from Amazon. It also has the switch on it, just like this. And then I cut the wires here to these lights, because you get a small strand of lights right here. And so then I'm just going to solder these wires onto the new battery pack when I get it. So that was a real pain. Just my luck with these kits. Okay, whew, man, these windows, they were pretty tricky to build. There's a lot of very thin bands of wood right here, especially these right here, that you got to put these together. So I will say this much: when you are popping those pieces off of here, you got to be really careful. See how thin these are? I actually had to use the end of a ruler to kind of push on those to pop them out, because they're really hard to get a hold of. Also, these curved bits right here, those are really hard to pop out. In fact, I accidentally broke one, as you can see right here. See how I broke it? Thankfully, they give you an extra one, so got to be very careful with that. And these are also tricky to pop out, but all of those are what make the frame of the window here. Now, when you are, if you decide to build this kit, when you're putting this part together, I would recommend that you put this part on first. The tops of these windows, put those on first, and then put this section on, because in the directions they're telling you to put the whole thing on when you're building this, and they tell you to put the whole thing onto the wall, but it's much easier if you put these on first, and then that way you can slide this whole assembly kind of into the ends right here, and then push these in, because the way these fit in, these top pieces and the bottom, they fit in with these into these holes right here. So if you are trying to put the whole thing on, you're going to be pushing on this part, and they don't quite match up, and so you're going to have to be fighting with it, and you're going to more than likely break this section or one of these pieces. So yeah, that's my recommendation, is to do these put these parts on first and then put that on. So anyway, hope that helps. Okay, so I think I may have found a mistake. On this piece here, they tell you to use that insert number 2. Alright, so this is the piece that I cut out. It's that little frosted bit. It's supposed to go behind this window here. But if you put it behind here, you'll notice that it's a little bit too big. I mean, look how big this is. Look how much leftover you have top and bottom. See how much hangover there is? Now over here, they tell you to use number 6 for this doorway right here. Alright, so let's flip this over, and then this is number 6 right here. But now number 6, it's barely even big enough to cover this window. See, look at how you can barely, the top and the bottom. So I think they got these backwards. So if we switch these around, this is number 2, and we put it on this, now you can see it fits better, because you actually have more leeway to work with here on the top and the bottom, as it should be. And then number 6, right here, if we put it on this window, now see how that fits more like it should? So yeah, I think they screwed up on those. They got those numbers backwards. So if you're building this, switch number 2 and number 6 around right there on those little frosted inserts, because I think that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so I got all the walls built now. These actually went together pretty good. Got a nice little door here with a handle, and you can see the little frosted bits on the back there. And then here's the other one. I like these skulls in the window. These are really cool. Noggin and bonds. So this looks really cool. On the back there, I like that little vent down there too. So that's all done back here now. And I kept having problems with the this one here is pretty easy here. I kept having problems with this wrinkling, but I just kind of kept smoothing it down till it dried. I just used Elmer's glue on it. This wall here is probably the coolest one so far. Look how nice all these windows look on here. This looks so good. Got the little sign that hangs right there. Borgin and Burke's to Nocturne Alley. All kinds of weird named places on here. But I like the little sign that kind of swings right there. And on the back here, we have all of this as well. So there we go. Now I'm just going to glue all these to the main base, and then I guess we'll go from there. But so far, so good. Okay, so this is where I'm at now. I gotta tell you, these walls are a real pain to put on the base, because you are trying to push the base pieces down into the base itself, because you got these bottom sections here. If I can get a grip of this, so you gotta push these parts down into the base. You can see them going all the way around, but while you're trying to push those down, you're also trying to interlock each wall with each other. See how you got these interlocking bricks? And it's really hard to try to get that all together. So, because you got to do all 4 of them, and because these interlock down here the way they do, you can't put some of these in. Like if you put this wall back here in, you're going to have a hard time getting this one in, because you're trying to get the bricks in between there while you're trying to push it down into the base. So what I ended up doing is gluing this wall back here, this one and this one. I glued them into the middle, and I just used Elmer, so it kind of gives you a little bit of time to work with it. And then it's still very fiddly, but once you got these interlocked with each other, then you can push them down in there. But I had a heck of a time with that middle one. That middle one just wouldn't go in there. And then after I finally got those in, then I was finally able to try to put this last one in there. But man, that was really rough. I had a heck of a time with that. Another thing I noticed is with pictures of this that I've seen, there's light bleed coming through these corners, because see how there's space in between those bricks? So what's going to happen is there's going to be lights. I think you're going to glue them to the side, inside here, and then see how there's a frame. You're going to have an inner wall and an outer wall. And so because the lights are kind of in between the two walls, light is bleeding through these corners. So what I did is I took some strips of poster board, folded it down the middle, and then just hot glued it into these corners. So that way you can see how this is. So that helps, that actually completely blocks out the light bleed. So anyway, so that might be something you might want to do if you build this, because the light bleed looks a little strange coming through those corners. But yeah, just know that when you're putting these walls on, it is a rough go. Alright, well, at least I got them on there. Okay, so now I've got the lights installed, and I went pretty much with the pattern that they show in the instructions, where you start from here and kind of work your way around, but I kind of deviated from it a little bit just because I wanted the bulbs in a certain spot. Now you'll notice I put some black Sharpie marker wherever the bulbs are. That's because the light, it's a pretty bright LED in there, and they shine through the wood. So by doing that, it blocks out the light coming through the wood. Also, these little sticker things, what these were meant to be is to attach the wires to the wood. But those stickers are going to come loose. I know they are. Over time, it's just going to dry out. So I just hot glued them in place. So I started with that one, worked my way around here. That's the next one right there. Let's see, is that one? Yeah, okay. And then goes around here, and those three are where they're supposed to tell you. Now this one here, they want you to put it up above here, but the problem is this window doesn't have any light, and so I wanted this one to light up. They have this bulb up above this one and this one above this one, but none above here. Maybe because they just wanted that one to be dark, but I figured by putting them in between all three, that's going to light them up. The back here has just got one bulb. I think this string of lights could have used one more bulb, just so that we could have another one down at the bottom here, because that one bulb doesn't really light up that window very much. And then, let's see, here's the little shelf. Okay, so that's where these bulbs go. This one goes to this next window, and then it works its way around. I think they wanted you to put this bulb up here, but sometimes there's not enough space between the bulbs to put it where they tell you to. So I figured that one bulb is going to light up both that window and this door, and there's a bulb right there too. And then as we come around where the skull window is, there's a bulb there and there. Now this little shelf right here is for the battery box. By the way, here's the new battery box I got from Amazon, and I just soldered it onto the bulbs since that other one was defective. So that's all ready to go now. And then this little shelf is where you put the battery box. You just let it sit right here. So this thing here now, because I put these black pieces of poster board to light block it, it kind of stuck out a little bit. So I had to take a Dremel and shim that corner down just a little bit so that that shelf would fit better. But even then, the shelf doesn't fit in all the way, and that's because those little there's those little tabs that go in there and there into this wall. Well, on the other side of that is this sign where it says Noggin and Bonce. And those little tabs are a little too long, and they're touching the back of that Noggin and Bonce sign, and so the shelf sticks out a little bit. So when you put the outer walls on, they're not going to fit right. So I had to take a Dremel and shave down this edge. You can just see right there how this edge is shaved down. I had to shave off about 1/8 of an inch too to make it fit. So there's going to be a lot of fiddling around that you're going to have to do with this. Now here's the outer wall. I got this all put together now. So I've decided I'm going to put these together first before I put it on here. After the hard time I had getting these walls on here, I figured it's best to just put these on together first. And I just hot glued the corners, and I made sure these were square. And then that way I can just fit this right over this. It's going to fit over this. And the wires are going to get in the way, but that's where it's going to fit. And then because that back window over here only has one bulb, I put a piece of aluminum tape right there so that it'll help reflect that light and make that window just a little bit brighter. Alright, so man, that's quite a bit of work for this thing. Alright, let me see if I can get that outer wall on and get the rest of this put together, and hopefully I'll have it all done. Okay, here it is all finished now, and oh my gosh, this was actually really cool. I mean, I do love this kit. Every time I think a kit is going to be relatively easy, it's not. It's probably because of my own OCD about certain things. But here you can see the whole depth of it inside there. I mean, it looks really fantastic. I'll turn the lights on here just a bit so we can take a look at it. But we got some nice brickwork pattern on the side here. There's the back. And then here is this side, which has this little sign on the side here. Now, once again, we have the wall situation where you are trying to get these walls onto the base, interlocking into these while you're trying to interlock them into each other. And so like I showed you, I just did these three, glued them before I put them on the base, which is not what I did with the interior. I only did these three. And these ones were harder because they're at an angle. At least with the square outside, those are easier to do. But I think it looks really cool. I mean, I really love that interior in there. All right, well, let me turn on the lights and we'll see what it looks like. Real quick, I just wanted to show you the interior of this. Now, let me see if I can get some light down in here. But you can see that it's a neat little kind of corner of an alley in there. And I really like the way they did that with the little front door. If you look back there, you can see there's a little broom that's just kind of leaning up against the door. I love those skulls and faces in the window. And you got the upper windows up here. And then I also like the newspapers. It's just these trashy newspapers sitting in the corner. You just kind of cut those out and fold them and glue them in place. There's some that look like they're sitting up right there. I like that grill underneath that window. And these windows look really cool. This whole side looks really, really good. And there's that sign that's hanging. All right, now let's look at it with the lights. So this top section here just kind of fits really nicely in here. They give you a little finger hole to grab the top. There is the batteries down inside, and you can see how this is double walled now. And then you just turn these on right here. And then we just put it right back in there. Sits on that shelf. Make sure the wires are tucked in here. And then this just fits right back on. Mine was, the top of mine was a little warped, but it seems like now that it's been sitting in here a while, it fits a little better. Alright, so now let me kill the lights and we can look at it a little bit better. Alright, so I figured we'd just look at this in total darkness now. So it looks really cool. I will say it looks brighter on camera than it does in person. And when I was first testing the lights out, I didn't think the windows are going to be bright enough. But once you put that second wall on, it makes everything reflect on itself, and it makes the windows a lot brighter. And I did add that silver tape to that window up there, and that's probably why it has more of a grayish tint. But I do think that helped brighten that up just a little bit. So you can see all these upper windows, they light up really nicely. Same with these ones. Down here, there is that nice doorway right there, very decorative, looks really cool. I love it. I love the way this looks. And then there's that cool window with the skulls and the monsters down inside there. I was going to block that grill down at the bottom because I really don't think that should light up. But I don't know, I kind of like it now that I've been looking at it that way. You can see how it lights up the entire alleyway. Got the little poster that's kind of crooked back there. Love these windows. And I like that they're frosted. I mean, you know, the fact that you don't have enough depth to really put anything inside, but I'm glad they didn't put maybe a sticker in there to make it look like there's an interior. I'm not sure that would work. I think it looks a little more, I don't know, mysterious, I guess, is the word for it, to keep them frosted like that. But I really love this thing. It looks so cool. It's like a neat little alley that you wouldn't mind kind of just going into. Look at that nice cobblestone street area. Looks like there's a little mat in front of that door. There's another one right in front of that one. And I like these kind of decorative bottoms to these windows. But you can really see how that looks. It looks so good. I am really impressed with these kits. I really am impressed with these Book Nook kits. And they're so fun to build. And they're pretty affordable too. You know, I gotta say that Lego, you know, you guys know I do Lego videos too, but Lego's getting so expensive and they just raised their prices in August, and it's getting to the point where I can't afford it anymore. So if I can build anything, these wood kits have been kind of a nice hit. There's just a ton of different wood kits that you can build. These Book Nooks, though, they're so cool. I mean, you put this on your shelf, and you can maybe have just the one or several, and then you have it sitting on your shelf, and at night you have these lights on, and it just looks really neat. It's like a little miniature world that lives inside your bookcase. I just think it's so neat. You almost want to be able to shrink yourself down and get inside there. But yeah, I love this. So this kit was by Cutebee, and I bought some stuff from them before. They make some really nice wood kits like this. I tried to find this on Amazon, but they didn't have this particular one, so I just ordered it directly from Cutebee. But it did take a while to get here because it has to come all the way from China, and took a little while to ship it. But once I got it, it was nice to be able to put this thing together. So if you have a day or two to spend on this kit to build it, I would highly recommend it. You know, these kits are a little bit finicky in some ways because they are wood. Wood isn't, you know, the most perfect material, but I still think for wood, they actually turn out looking pretty darn amazing, if you ask me. I think it's great, but if you want to, you know, kind of tweak it a little bit like I did, which you'll probably have to do, but you can build it right out of the box and it'll still just look fine. But just know that there are some challenges with trying to get those walls on there. That was a little bit of a nail biter there trying to get those on. But yeah, this is great. I just love this thing. I am really, really impressed with these book nooks. I think there's another one I might be doing also. It's kind of like a pirate ship. I thought that looked kind of cool. It has lights in it as well. So that might be another one that I might do down the road here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I very much appreciate all of you watching, so thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video. And have a good one!